Hey everybody, welcome back to another video, the T on MPD and relationships. To all of our new family members, hey y'all. To all of our new subscribers, hello. Listen, to my tribe and family at large, welcome back. Thank you all so much for coming back to see just what I have to say on the matter. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for sharing the content as well. Y'all know on Thursday nights we go live right here on the channel every Thursday night, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'd love to see you here in the chat. All right? I want to see you here. And of course, y'all know that the goal of the day, every time we drop a video on the channel, the goal of the day is 1.2K plus. If you rocks with your girl. If you rocks with your girl, hit that like button 1 time, 2 times for me. All right? Make sure it's lit up when you hit it. Okay? Thank you so much. All right, so let's jump into the topic of this video. I want to talk about, the way that the narcissist copes with losing you, okay? I want to talk about this because yesterday I did talk about, the fact of what happens when the narcissist actually loses control over you. And I think it's important for you to know how they cope with the loss, how they cope with the loss, because this will help you understand some of the things that happened to you or that is happening to you now that the discard has happened. It's you have to know that you're dealing with a person that is quite delusional. Despite what they look like, despite what they say, these recycled pigeons will tell you are delusional all day long. You know what I'm saying? But that's that's projection. They're always going to call you exactly what they are. They're going to always, they'll call you the liar. They will call you the cheater. They will call you the instigator. When they know that you're none of that, they know that they are all of that. Okay. And so this is what they do. So what you have to understand about, the way that they cope when they've lost you is the fact that they have to do certain things. Okay, you got to sit down because mommy's shooting a video. So you know who's here. So you have to understand that there's certain things that they have to do in order to cope with the loss of you. Now, what you're gonna typically see, especially if you start hearing from the flying monkeys right away, the family members or whatever. Now it's because that narcissist is going ham, egg, and cheese on them because basically they have lost their supply, and that's not a good situation. So a lot of times, even if the narcissist has not yet reached out to Hoover, a lot of times you will see the family members trying to call what happened, trying to get a meeting with you, because this bird is over there. I mean, these backwards walking giraffes, they are giving it to that family. And the people that are closest to them, they are letting them have it because basically, they've lost control over you. And that demonic influence is tearing them up on the inside because they had one assignment, and that assignment was to destroy you. And they didn't fulfill on the obligation. So, that negative narrative is tearing them up. Well, you're already dealing with someone that has zero coping skills. And this is why you find them addicted to so many things. They'll fall back in. Some of them fall back into, some of them have food addictions. A lot of them have porn addictions. They will, if they're addicted to retail therapy, a lot of them will go into that. Gambling, using drugs, substance abuse. A lot of them will go into things like that, or they'll fall back into it trying to cope with the loss of you. Because what you have to understand is that you were a tremendous person, especially for those of you that are grade A supply. I mean, the narcissists, they lost a huge lifeline because grade A supply is you are typically the center of the matrix, the fuel matrix. Okay, so everything hinges on you. Even the backdrop, back burner supply. That supply is not even as potent as it could be without you being the centerpiece of the fuel matrix. And I think I've mentioned similar things. I've mentioned the fuel matrix before in a few of my other videos. But I need you to understand that this is the way that they cope with you being gone. A lot of them will fall into extreme sexual promiscuity. Not that they're not already, but just being reckless, to even a greater degree, because they're reckless anyway, but being reckless to a greater degree. Now, I want to talk to you also about what you may be experiencing. Some of y'all may be experiencing, man, I just felt like the narcissist was standing outside my house. I believe they're driving by. A lot of times, if you have premonitions like that, especially for those of you that are empaths and you're highly sensitive individuals, it's probably not a wrong thing. It's probably not. You're probably actually correct. They are probably doing that. If they are not contacting you directly, you may experience several phone calls from unknown numbers back to back to back on your phone. They may actually be calling from Google numbers, different other numbers that you can't necessarily trace back. This is another way that they cope. And what it does is it kind of relieves some of that anxiety that they have. And what they do is, by them dialing the phone like that and just, they get thought fuel from, they're probably tired of this phone going off and they think that's funny. They think it's cool to kind of, to disturb you like that because they are basically sitting there in misery. Okay. So they do things like that. Some of you will find them coming by the house unannounced. And then they'll lie and say that they weren't there, but the neighbors sometimes will tell you, oh, so and so was over here. We saw them at 10:30 at night. Yeah, they were walking around outside, blah blah blah. Sometimes the neighbors will tell off on them, especially if they see them in the area. I know y'all gonna testify in the comment section, but a lot of times this is what happens, and this is a way that they cope. The main thing that you need to know is that you need to really be careful, because they don't take too well to losing supply, and so they will hoover. A lot of times they will hoover. Typically, sometimes within a few days. It just depends on what the situation was like. They will hoover in a few days. Sometimes it takes a few weeks. Sometimes it'll take a couple of months, just depending on, the severity of the discard. If they can, more than likely, if they don't hoover you within a week or so, they will a lot of times reach out to flying monkeys or, people that you both know in common and have them to kind of, dig around a little bit to see what's happening, see what you up to or whatever. But all in all, I just want you to understand that they don't have very good coping skills. Okay. And that is because they are emotionally immature. And this is why you do get a lot of the texting from odd numbers. You get a lot of the calling from odd numbers. A lot of that happens because they just can't cope. They can't cope. And when you're dealing with someone that is not in control of their impulses, they are very reckless, out of control individuals. And that's primarily due to, the demonic activity that negativity that they have going on in their minds. They're out of control. Now, this may surprise you, but I want you to know this as well. This might come as a surprise, but typically when the discard happens, because narcissists, they are not in control of their impulses. And a lot of them will tell you, tell you that too. They can't control their impulses. But typically when the discard first happens, y'all may not know this, but a lot of times they're very confused. Okay? I know what you're probably saying. How could they be confused? They were just a whole devil. You know what I'm saying? They were just being a demon. I'm going to tell you something. These backwards walking giraffes, I said it. Oh, I said it. They will. They are confused. They're trying to figure out what happened. Because all leading up to the discard, remember, it's a cycle. And this is a perpetual cycle. It doesn't stop with just you. Okay, because once you're out of the picture, what you have to see is that this cycle will continue with someone else. That's why I tell y'all, when y'all think that the new supply is getting everything that you didn't get, or that back burner supply or whatever, no. This cycle of love bomb, devalue, discard continues. Okay. It does. It continues. So you gotta understand that if it ends in the discard with you, that this cycle is going to continue, which means the love bomb, devalue, discard is going to continue with the next person. It is a pathological cycle. It is not something that they choose to do with one person and don't choose to do with another one. They are absolutely going to do this same cycle regardless of the optics that you see on social media with whatever person they may be with now. You have to understand that they are going to absolutely do the same thing with the next person. So yeah, initially they are confused because in the discard, they were on autopilot. And I'm sure y'all gonna testify that the discard was something else. When I tell you that devaluation happens and that thing is rocking and reeling, these recycled pigeons are going in. Okay? They are going in. You're like, I just did not realize this fool could be that. And I say it's a fool because it's got to be a foolish person to despise wisdom, because I'm sure you all were telling them the entire time, why are you doing this? Why are you doing it? They are just very foolish individuals. And that's just what it is. It's a fool that will despise wisdom and to do the things that they do. So these people, just being the foolish people that they are, they don't understand that, okay, I'm taking this person through the devaluation stage. I'm insulting them. I'm being the utmost disrespectful. I mean, everything. They taking you down through there. Okay. And so, yeah, they're on autopilot, because at that point, the narcissist is not even in control. That other entity has come in and basically taken control of that part, because it's time to really do you in. Okay. And so, yeah, when the narcissist typically comes to themselves after that discard happens and, the dust is settling and they're looking around like, what just happened here? Yeah, a lot of times they can be confused because they're like, this happened again? This is I lost another one? Yeah, that's why. So if you ever hear somebody say that, or if they ever say to you, well, I was confused. They are. Because, I told y'all all them different demons up in there. So, that's why a lot of times they don't sleep, because one demon want to stay up. The next demon want to go to sleep. The next one want to be on demon time. All these different ones going off in their heads. Look, they can't get on the correct sleep schedule. Okay? Everybody can't come together. Okay? That's it. But, yeah, so, the impulses, they're out of control of the impulses. And so that's what will happen, so that in that being out of control and that mania going on, because a lot of times they're in a state of mania during that discard, because they're just on autopilot from that demonic entity on autopilot. They'll tell you they're confused. That a lot of them told you that they were confused, didn't understand what happened. And then they'll start, after they say that, then they'll start blaming you for everything. And that's the way that it typically goes. So, yeah, this is how they cope. This is what they do, in coping with, losing you. So my advice to you is to stay far away. Strategies, just keep yourself busy, keep yourself busy healing, taking care of you. because you need to understand that I don't care how bad it is for them to cope with whatever they've done. They need to handle their business, and they need to do whatever it is they need to do to make it right for them. But what should not be an option is you going back to the situation. That should not be an option. I don't care how bad it is for them to cope with what they've done. If they wanted to have a better outcome, then they should have behaved better. And that's just it. I said it. Get some prayer and an exorcism for these birds. That's what they need. Some prayer and an exorcism. Okay. And 1,000,000 hours of therapy. I said it. Okay. Yes, absolutely. So family, I wanted to put this out here for you. I hope y'all are having a wonderful day, and I will see you all on the next video, and I will see you all healed at the top. I love you, family. Shalom. Peace.